Hello, everybody. Welcome back into another Talking Fitchburg update. Today, we're spending time with Brown Sales Corporation. Ross is kind enough to jump on here. He's the vice president of Brown Sales. Ross, how you doing?
Hey, we're doing well, Jeremy. We're hanging in there. It's a very busy time, kind of a crazy time in the world, as I'm sure a lot of people can relate to. But we're doing well. We are abundantly blessed and thankful for every day here.
Absolutely, Ross. First off, we just got to thank you. Your setup is just blowing us away here. You're shaming us basically at this point.
We all have our hobbies, and I got a good opportunity to use some of my stuff today. So thanks for the opportunity.
Also, you have a free invite to come out and do all voiceover work for Black TV here in the future. So
I'll let you know as soon as coronavirus passes us by and my schedule frees up. I'll get a hold of you.
Sounds good. Ross, what we're bringing you on here today is to talk about amazing stuff that you guys have been working on, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But for those who aren't familiar with Brown Sales, tell us a little bit about the company and what you folks produce there.
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah, well, again, thanks for the opportunity to come on today. Brown Sales is an industrial cutting and sewing business. The business was started by my father, Stuart Brown, kind of, local Fitchburg celebrity. If you know anything Fitchburg, you probably know Stuart. He's a likable guy. But started by Stuart Brown in the year 1970, so we are in our 50th year of business here in 2020. But Brown Sales is, as I said, an industrial cutting and sewing business. So we are manufacturing a wide variety of sewn products. In recent weeks, we've gotten very involved with a lot of response to COVID-19. But prior to this, world in which we live currently, we've manufactured a wide variety of sewn products. We do a lot of manufacturing for the medical industry. Building lots of different component pieces for different pieces of medical equipment, whether that's a table, examination pad, or wheelchair seats and backs, different component pieces, or any different carrying cases for pieces of medical equipment and things of that nature. Doing a lot of sewing manufacturing for the medical industry, which has been helpful as we've been diving into some new questions here in recent weeks. So that's about a third of our business. Just talking, big picture ideas right now. About a third of our business is servicing the medical industry. Another third of our business, which maybe some of your viewers are aware, we manufacture beanbag chairs. If you've ever been to the Fitchburg Library's got some beanbag chairs there. I think they're very nice. I'm a little biased because they happen to be our beanbag chairs, right? Donated by Brown Sales.
My kids have sat in them many times.
Yeah, okay, all right.
They work very well.
Hopefully they're still holding up, right? Okay.
Yes, we've even turned them into pumpkins during Halloween, so
sure.
They hold up really nice.
Not trying to do some shameless plug here, but we got to connect with Fitchburg anytime we've got an opportunity, right?
Hey, absolutely. That's who you're talking to today.
Yeah,
so
that's it. That's right. Exactly right. So, we've been manufacturing beanbag chairs for decades. That's really how the business got going in the direction of sewing and manufacturing in that sense, probably 45 years ago. So we still manufacture tens of thousands of beanbag chairs every year, ship them all across America. And that side of our business accounts for, again, roughly speaking, about a third of what we do at Brown Sales. And then the final third of what we do is just servicing lots of different industries with different cut and sewn products. And that the vast majority of everything we manufacture are products built to customer specifications. So we are making very few things on our own initiative. More so, we are manufacturing products to customer specifications. So a customer gets a hold of us and says, hey, I need a product that is these dimensions, made out of this material. I needed to, have these bells and whistles added to it or whatever it is. And we say, okay, great. Well, we can build that for you. And here's a quote and let's get on with business. So that's the very, very quick, overview of what we do historically at Brown Sales. Obviously, in the last few weeks, it's been a time of I don't know if upheaval is too dramatic of a word or not, but it's pretty close to the right word if it's not the right one. Obviously dealing with coronavirus and the world in which we live now as well. But I'm sure we'll be getting into that in the course of our conversation here.
We'll dive right in. You, like other companies, have taken it upon yourself to help out in this crisis, and this deluxe cloth face mask is a pretty when we looked at it as a staff when we were getting ready for the interview, we're very impressed by this mask.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the mask and why you're doing this.
Yeah, sure thing. Sure thing. Well, thank you for your kind words. Yeah, we've never manufactured, at least to my knowledge. I've been growing up around the company. Again, my father started the business. I'm 35 years old, so you could say I've got 35 years worth of experience. But practically speaking, I've been with the company full time, going on 13 years here. And at least in my tenure, we've never even pondered the idea of manufacturing a face mask. Obviously, things have changed in the course of the last 3 to 4 weeks, and it became quickly apparent that there's huge need for face masks, obviously in the world right now and across our country. And so we as a company just decided, hey, we need to learn about face masks and what goes into making a face mask. Thankfully, it's not rocket science, right? Just in terms of how to make a face mask, as certainly a lot of us have seen. There's lots of, do it at home sort of kits that people can do, which is wonderful. But we looked at the entire circumstance of the world and said, hey, is there an opportunity for us to take our skill sets, our materials that we've already got mostly in house, and produce a product that would be valuable in the marketplace, and offer that for sale and offer people's consideration, and in the very short period of time. I think the whole development process from concept to production ready was about 4 days. But we were able to develop a unique style of a cloth face mask. It is still a cloth face mask. I want to make sure that's very, very clear. It's not N95 rated, anything professional grade like that. That really is the solution to, what everyone's really looking for is N95, and we're all looking forward to that day when those are readily available again. But in this interim period, we, along with many other companies, are manufacturing cloth face masks, including this one that you're describing, that we're calling the Deluxe Cloth Face Mask with Antimicrobial Cover. And that's what really, I think, puts our particular face mask on the radar as far as something that's different about it, is that we've got 2 layers of cotton, but then those 2 layers of cotton are covered up by a dual layer, sort of an overlapping dual layer of this antimicrobial material called SureCheck, which is manufactured by a company called Herculite out of Pennsylvania. We've been using SureCheck material for different product lines in the medical industry for decades. So we've got a lot of experience with the material. We know how to work with it. We know its properties. We know there's just a lot of things about this particular kind of material that are attractive in a circumstance like this. And so we said, okay, how can we build a face mask that incorporates this antimicrobial material called SureCheck into a face mask? And it's, right away we're excited about the concept, but we immediately run into a problem because SureCheck material is non-porous, which is great for like blocking bad things that you don't want to have in your body, but it's not great when you can't breathe through the face mask, right? Like, we'll protect you from coronavirus, but well, actually, that's, I don't even want to quite say it in those stronger terms. We will build a cloth face mask that is, intended for good use here during this time of crisis. But if you can't breathe, that's not a good selling point, So in the course of, again, just a few days, we were able to develop a product that still incorporates this antimicrobial material. But to just give a simple description, we've got a base layer of the antimicrobial material. We've cut an opening in that base layer so that someone could breathe through the mask. And then we have added a secondary overlapping layer of that same antimicrobial material over the opening, and then left the sides of that secondary layer open such that you could breathe through the mask and still have that cotton fully protected from exposure to the outside world. So it's a product that's come together very, very quickly. Again, from start to finish, from concept to production ready, I think we had about 4 days, and we just launched the product on Monday, March 30th, and response thus far has been very positive and very numerous. We're getting lots of orders and inquiries, and it's presenting new challenges. But hey, this is why we're here, is to provide value in the marketplace and and we're up for the challenge here.
Yeah, it's the design to come together. What we've heard in these scenarios when we've talked to some of the businesses here who are getting involved in different aspects of development here, everybody has said how amazing it is that these things are happening. You say this happened in 4 days. That
Yes,
is just incredible. Take us through that. How do you take something in 4 days and then go to mass produce it? Is a pretty big feat, if you
Yeah,
will.
absolutely. I mean, I think it speaks very much to the spirit of innovation that we the people can have in a time of crisis. I was just speaking with another person earlier today, and we were talking about this idea that, look, when in a time of crisis like this, I don't want to get on the soapbox or something like that necessarily, but just like it seems to me, in my experience as an American, part of what we do is we don't wait for the cavalry to show up, right? We are the cavalry. And I'm not trying to overhype us or get some rah. I know American flag in the background here. I'm not, not doing that, whatever,
Kick in the music
necessarily. But it is true, Jeremy. It is true to say, look, there's problems in the world, and this problem that we're dealing with now happens to be, pretty immediate and pretty in our face. But there's problems in the world, and we, the people, not just as Americans, but we as a species, are designed to solve problems. And when we are free to do so, when we are free to innovate and try things and put things out there for marketplace consideration, sometimes we'll fail, sometimes we'll succeed. But when we have the opportunity to innovate and the liberty to do so, and to just put things out there for marketplace consideration, it can be a really beautiful thing. So as it relates to our particular experience, it was an intense time. I mean, that's all we did basically for those 3 to 4 days, particularly me and our product development engineer, a brilliant lady by the name of Debbie Rail. We just went back and forth. We went through I think eight styles of prototypes in the course of just a few days there. But that's what we did, right? And we recognized the importance of this and building a product as we were going throughout the entire development process, making sure that we're building a product that we actually believe in, that we do actually stand behind. In times like this, unfortunately, there's always, the threat of con artists showing up with their snake oil salesman sort of mentality. And, hey, here's a product that's going to, change your life in X, Y, and Z sort of ways. And it's all just a line of bull. That's the opposite of what we are seeking to achieve with anything we do at Brown Sales. I mean, again, we're a 50-year-old company. Integrity is first and foremost what we need to maintain throughout all times, good times, tough times, everywhere in between. And so as we're developing this particular product, we say, okay, how can we build a better cloth face mask, right? It's kind of like building a better mousetrap, which is sort of cliche, but it's true. And it was really a development process of, okay, let's try something, let's evaluate it, let's put on the product. Okay, what is good about this? Okay, keeping those things, but then what problems are we experiencing? Okay, well, let's ask the right questions so that we can solve those problems, right? And keep the good, address the bad, and do that 8 times over. And we were able to develop this product in a very short period of time.
That is just incredible. I mean, amazing that something, something so, when you look at the diagram here, it looks like it's so carefully, figured out, which again, you guys have spent enough time, but yet trying to fit the need. And, I think for residents and myself and the city, it's amazing what your folks are doing there. And we can't thank you enough for stepping up during this crisis and helping out. Ross, can you tell us, you don't have to give us any exact numbers or anything, but how many have gone out, and are they staying here in Wisconsin, or are we sending them everywhere?
Sure.
Just to give an idea of how much you've moved so far, or the need you're filling.
Yeah, absolutely. We officially launched both the sales and the production process on Monday, March 30th. And so our first batch of products continues to make its way through the production process. We at Brown Sales are actually only working 4 days a week, at least coming into this week, that's the case. So we'll see how long that lasts, but based on demand. But in the interest of social distancing, we are working longer days, Monday through Thursday, and then taking Fridays away. And some of us are able to work from home, but from a manufacturing standpoint, we're only got 4 days currently that we're manufacturing. So we estimated that first orders would be ready to ship by April 6th, which is this upcoming Monday. We are on track to meet those. Some orders have actually already shipped out ahead of schedule, but the balance of those first orders will be on track to ship out by Monday the 6th. But then we've got a whole queue of orders that have come through as well. Our initial release into the production process was about 300 units. We've got another 1,000 units entering the production process on Monday the 6th. And all of those units, nearly all of those units are already spoken for with retail sales. Again, we're selling our product retail level at brownsales.com. And so all of those units are almost spoken for already. And then beyond that, we also have what we've called a bulk purchasing program set up as well. So if there's companies out there, for example, that want to buy 100 units for their employees or things like that, of course, we're able to offer better pricing and all this kind of stuff when we're shipping in bulk. And so we've got a bulk program, and we've got a number of bulk orders that have come in as well. So everything's said and done so far. In the course of its first week after launch, I think we've sold approximately 2,200 units, which has been just a I don't know if it's a wonderful response or not, right? I don't know how to necessarily describe it, Jeremy, because again, it's like a purely bad circumstance, right? I mean, I can't say that we're excited about this, if that makes sense. I mean, because ultimately we'd rather not be having to do any of this at all. And that's not me just, trying to look good or something in the course of an interview. It's just really, we were abundantly blessed kind of coming into this time with some really nice customers and nice pace of business and a growing company and whatever. We were very happy with how things were cruising along at Brown Sales before everything like this started to come about. But here we are. And so we're honored to have the opportunity to do what we can do to provide value in the marketplace at a time like this. Obviously, the demand for masks is huge. And we're starting to get some really serious inquiries. Even the craziest one that I got I don't even know what date it is, but I think it was just yesterday. You asked about, is it locally, is it nationally? We're seeing a lot of local activity certainly, but it's starting to get picked up nationally as well. I actually got a phone call on the 2nd, April 2nd, from the Los Angeles Police Department. And they said, "Hey, is there any chance we could buy 100,000 of these things, and could you land them at our facility on April 6th?" And it's like, well, the answer was no, which is too bad for multiple reasons. Obviously, their demand is great, and boy, I really wish that we could do what we could to take care of them, right? But it's clear that at least for this immediate term, it's going to be necessary for us to be increasing our production capacity. We do have, a good amount of capacity available to produce these items, but it seems that the demand is significant, and so we are actively in the process right now of exploring what does increasing capacity look like by means of secondary shifts. As I mentioned, we're only working Monday through Thursday right now with our primary shift, but we do have our facility sitting there, available for people to work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we're evaluating ideas like that, at least on a limited term employment sort of basis during this time of crisis, and we'll see how this all pans out. But the people are definitely noticing this product in the marketplace, and we're happy with that. And we're just also very adamant that we remain dedicated to servicing our customers well. And part of that means we're not going to make false promises in advance, right? If we're saying we're going to get your product, we're going to get your product in a timely fashion. We're not going to take an order and then 6 months later you're actually going to get your stuff, right? And so in this interim period, we might have to shut down sales for a while just to make sure that we're servicing the customers that we already have well. but then really seeking to evaluate ideas to increase our production capacity so that we can produce more product and service more clients in that sense.
Wow, that Ross, that's an amazing problem to have in some fronts.
Yeah.
And like you said, I mean, it's a rough time, so it's hard to talk positive when but
Yeah.
you're still fitting the need that
Yeah.
is now. So,
Right.
Ross,
It's similar to another product we manufacture. As I mentioned, we do manufacture wheelchair seats and backs and all this kind of stuff. And one other item we manufacture in that line is a line of wheelchair seats that are used for children's wheelchairs. And the chairs are very small; they're for kids, right? And so we manufacture these parts, and it hits us that, hey, this is kind of sad. This is a product that is going to be used by a very small person. I've got 3 little kids at home. That hits me at a place that's deep. But we've been making these products for many years. But we talked about it when we first fired up that product line, and we've had the same conversations as it relates to these masks that we're introducing in the marketplace now. There's some aspects of this that are sad, but it's important that we get our minds around it properly, right? Like, we didn't cause those kids to be in a wheelchair. We didn't create coronavirus, right? That this is all sad circumstance, and it's okay to be sad about that. It's okay to mourn that, but let's get the narrative on this right and say, look, that's all sad, but we have a wonderful opportunity to help people now, and that's where we come in at all of this. To say, look, life is hard for people, but if we can produce a product that makes their life better, that's a wonderful calling, and that's a good opportunity for us to act and execute faithfully upon that calling.
I don't think you can say it better than that, Ross. And again, from the bottom of my heart and resident city, thank you. Thank you to everything that you and your company is doing to help out during this time. And Ross, open invitation that we'd love to have you back on down the road, check in with you, see how it's going. And of course, we want to take that voice of yours too and follow that with TV, but that
Sure.
you were there. Thank you so much, Ross, for your time, and keep up the great work. And glad to have you right here in the city of Fitchburg.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for the opportunity, Jeremy, and we'll get through this. God bless everybody.
All right, that is Ross Brown, Vice President there of Brown Sales Corporation. We'll check back out with him soon.